Hello, BJ. With a very basic Bible. Gonna share my screen real quick so I'm not so pixelated and I'm very shadowy, but who cares? You're not here for that. You're here for Bible. All right, let's see. LSB. Okay, let's change these suckers up, change versions. We got all these versions. Then if we click the next window, same versions. So we're gonna get more versions. Let's change the versions in this one. NASB, ESV. I've done this so much now. Can do it in my sleep. Ever thought about that? What do you do in your sleep? You just I say I can do it in my sleep and I can't even find it. Uh, the Bible says when we're asleep, we're dead. You know, Jesus is like, he's not dead. She's just sleeping. And people are like, that means that when someone's dead, it's really that means they're just sleeping. And it's like, no, he I don't think that's what he meant there. Ta-da. Now we got 7 translations. We go to the next window, 7 new translations. Yeah. Bible Gateway. Okay, up here in the top right corner, open it up. This is for Firefox. It might be different on other internet browsers, but I found this thing called bookmarks. There's bookmarks. I have saved lectionary. So then I just go to, you see uh, ROM websites because I like playing video games. Fantasy Star. Bible Project. I was listening to some stuff on that. Faith from the Bible Bro Down guys. Pretty cool, huh? Bethany Methodist, a church I go to. Let's look at this Anglican lectionary. Why not? Click on it. Take me to the web page. White screen. Oh no, that was Bible Gateway. That's okay. We can open it up again real quick. Whoop. And a Bible Gateway. Look at that. How easy is that? All right. Morning prayer. Whoa. All that. More Holy Eucharist as prosper. Except what? Evening prayer. Holy moly's. Also available daily BCP readings. What's that? I wonder. Let's see. Oh, Book of Common Prayer. Okay. We can go back to Book of Alternative Services because we're trying to do stuff besides the Book of Common Prayer, which is good, but like we do the Book of Common Prayer every time. I mean, it's always different scriptures, I guess. All right. Why don't we take just COLL 385? I bet that's not Colossians. I bet that's collect. Collect is a short sermon, basically. Short, I think. Basically a sermon. Why they call it collect, I don't know. Things come from other languages and then they come into English eventually. Things come from Greek, Latin. Um, they go through other languages like French and Spanish, mostly Greek and Latin. Then they come into English. We call them collects. Now we've changed it to sermon. I don't know what the words are from, but let's just look at morning prayer. These right here. Psalm 5 and 6. John 1, 1 through 17a. Only the first half is 1 to 17. And Acts 26, 24 through 27a. That is a lot. We're going to try. Usually these, I try to keep these shorter. Usually like 45 minutes to 55. The first one was really long. Okay. Wait, what was it? Psalm 5 and 6. Psalm 5 ESV, English Standard. You see the V right there, version? That's fine. We'll just go real quick. To the choir master for the flutes, a psalm of David. Okay, here we go. Give ear to my words, O Lord. Consider my groaning. Give attention to the sound of my cry, my King and my God, for to you I pray. You can see how that's a parallel. Give ear to my words, Lord. Consider my groaning. Give attention to the sound of my cry, my King and my God. For two I pray. Right? A parallel. This and this. These two parallel each other. Then consider my girding, and for two I pray. Parallel each other, you can see. Pretty cool, huh? Oh Lord, in the morning you hear my voice, and in the morning I prepare a sacrifice for you and watch. I guess he's waiting for the God to do something. For you are not a God who delights in wickedness. Evil may not dwell with you. The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. You hate all evildoers. Oh my. You don't delight in wickedness, so that evil may not dwell with you. And boastful shall not stand before you, because you hate all evildoers. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors the bloodthirsty and deceitful man. Good thing that he prepared a sacrifice, because I didn't have a sacrifice. I didn't have a relationship with God. I'd be screwed because I'd be speaking lies. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, will enter your house. Not because I did good enough, not because I kept your commandments, because the abundance of your love. So God hates evildoers. Yeah, because the abundance of his love, I enter his house. Sounds contradictory, doesn't it? I'm glad we have a God that's like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You know, he loves us, but he takes care of the evildoers for us. Something like that. Oh, hey, here we go. The lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Lead me, O Lord, in your righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. Here, Psalm 5. Okay, here we go. The boastful will not, you hate all who do injustice, you hate all evildoers, you hate all who behave wickedly, you hate all who do evil, you hate everyone. Okay. But as for me, I'm not necessarily evil, but I do evil things. By your abundant goodness, graciousness, I will into your house. Yep. David in Psalm 50 was like, God, I got no excuse. No excuse. And he says, blessed is the God who forgives the transgression of men. Blessed is a man whose transgressions are forgiven and whose iniquities are forgotten. You know. All right. Where was that part about? Lord, lead me in your righteousness because of my enemies. Because of my enemies. Because of those who wait to ambush me. Ooh. Lead me in your righteousness because lead me, Lord, you lead. If I go by myself, people are going to ambush me and beat me up. If I go, say, with maybe I go with the security guard. Okay, they got a gun, but maybe they could be overpowered. So I'll go with 20 security guards. What if they have 28 heavily armed men that ambush me? Lead me in the way. You know, so I'm walking down the way, I'm walking down a path, I'm walking down the street. I need protection because there's enemies. Lord, because of my enemies, you lead me in the way. Right? Maybe that's it. Let me see. Lead me in the path, right path, oh Lord, or my enemies will conquer me. There we go. That's good. Yeah. Let's see. I just clicked to the other version. So now we got all these. ERV. Here we go. Lord, show me your right way of living and make it easy for me to follow. People are looking for my weaknesses. Show me how to you want me to live. Okay. So like I'm trying to go the right way, but peer pressure, they're trying to get to me, God. They're trying to, we noticed he likes to do this and that wrong. Let's try and get him to do it. And God, please lead me. Pretty cool, huh? Go back to the ESV. All right. Okay, you are not a God who delights in wickedness. That's good. Evil may not dwell with you unless forgiven. The boastful shall not stand before your eyes. You hate all evil unless forgiven. You destroy those who speak lies. The Lord abhors a bloodthirsty and deceitful man. But I, through the abundance of your steadfast love, maybe the abundance of God's steadfast love changes an evildoer into a good doer, one who speaks lies and one who speaks truth. Bloodthirsty and deceitful man, because of God's steadfast love. In First Corinthians, Paul says, "Hey, you used to do all this bad stuff, but you were washed, you were sanctified, you were cleansed." Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? We used to be one way, now we're another way. So either, we're bad, evil, or wicked, but hey, God loves so much, even though he hates evildoers, but his love, mercy triumphs over judgment, we're told in James. Or probably a little bit of both. The abundance of your steadfast love that changes me into a honest man, to one who speaks truth. That's how I enter your house. And enter to your house. Yeah. I will bow down toward your holy temple in the fear of you. Lead me, O Lord, in righteousness because of my enemies. Make your way straight before me. I need help because they're going to try to get me to do the wrong thing, God. They're going to try and jump up. They're going to try and hurt me. But you love me. For there is no truth in their mouth, the evil and the wickedness, the evil, the deceitful man. Their inmost self is destruction. Their throat is an open grave. They flatter with their tongue. Make them bear their guilt, O God. Let them fall by their own counsels. Yeah. What they're trying to do to me, let them fall. God, I've got enemies out to get me. Please protect me. And the last thing I would want to do would be to have a prayer like this against me. Because of the abundance of their transgressions, cast them out, for they have rebelled against you. But let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them ever sing for joy and spread your protection over them. The ones who take refuge in you, spread your protection over them. That those who love your name may exult in you. For you bless the righteous, O Lord. You cover him with favor as with a shield. Yeah. You bless the righteousness, your abundant love. Man, God's good. All right. And then we got 6 that goes along with it. Morning prayer, Psalm 5. Can you believe people are like, I try to read 2 chapters of the Bible a day? Morning prayer. Look at all this. And a collect. I'm pretty sure it's collect because it could be Colossians. I think Colossians has 1 L. Yep. Yeah. Epistle to the Colossians. Colossians. I'm going to type in COLL. The other reason I think it's collect is because 385, it could be a typo. Maybe it's supposed to be chapter 3 and then a colon. See how chapter 1 colon verse 1. Chapter 26 verse 24. See, there's a colon, right? No colon. Maybe it's chapter 3 verse 85. Colossians does not have a chapter 385, and it does not have a chapter 38 verse 5. There's like four chapters in Colossians. Maybe that's 180, maybe the 5, maybe it's 3, and that's supposed to be the colon, the 8. But no, I'm pretty sure because Colossians only has 1 L. Col 385. Oh wow, college. Let's see. Anglican Church. Let's see. Book of Alternative Services, new collection. Oh look, that's where we're at today. Access daily readings. Col 385 or 396. A collection. Maybe it's collection. Collect. To pray the collects for peace and grace daily. Collects, epistles, and gospels from the Book of Common Prayer. Okay. All right, guys, we're getting way off. It's supposed to be a lectionary reading. Let's go to Psalm 6. Now, I might not make as many comments because I'm sure that it's Psalm 5 and 6 are very similar. God, you're against those who do evil, you're for those who do right. God, you hate the people, but you love us. You know, good versus bad. Okay. Like, oh Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. Is David or whoever this? Oh, okay. It says a psalm of David to the choir master with stringed instruments according to the Sheminith. A psalm of David. These things were added later, but not to my knowledge as late as the chapters and verses. In fact, some psalms in older translations, you got two psalms put together as one, and then some split them into two. So I mean, just these I don't think are original, but they were added pretty early on in the history. So you got a psalm written by David. The people copy the psalm, then people eventually put the psalms in a collection of together. Then people gather all these psalms together and have a book. Then people start using that book of all these psalms in church services, Jewish services and church services. Eventually, somewhere in there, someone added these titles. Yeah. All right. O Lord, rebuke me not in your anger, nor discipline me in your wrath. Be gracious to me, O Lord, for I am languishing. Heal me, O Lord, for my bones are troubled. My soul is greatly troubled, but you, O Lord, how long? How long are you gonna God, please help me. How long are you gonna ignore me? Look, I'm over here languishing, but I'm asking, please, God, have faith. Do not prove me. What is it? Oh, look at that. How long? Dot, dot, dot. That's good. I like that. Oh, look at this. How long until you restore me? Okay. How long will it be until you save me? The NIRV. So they're trying to NIRV. That should be NIV. They're trying to tell us what they think most likely it means. If it's like confusing, it's like, what in the world does that mean? So they're like, we'll help you out. All the scholars for the NIRV. This one, NIV, how long, Lord? How long? The NLT, all the scholars are like, I bet it means how long until you restore me, until you help me, how long are you going to leave me in this quagmire of, reproving me and punishing me? And all right, turn, O Lord, deliver my life, save me for the sake of your steadfast love, not because I'm good. Sure, you love the righteous, but you hate the wicked, and we're all a little righteous and a little wicked. Your steadfast love needs to save me, God. For in death there's no remembrance of you. In Sheol, who will give you praise? I am weary with my moaning. Every night I flood my bed with tears. I drench my couch with my weeping. My eyes waste away because of grief. It grows weak because of all my foes. So his sins, but also last time he's like, God, help me, help me along the way because I have a lot of adversaries because of my foes. Depart from me, all you workers of evil, for the Lord has heard the sound of my weeping. Uh-oh. God has heard me. Y'all better go. The Lord has heard my plea. The Lord has accepts my prayer. All my enemies shall be ashamed and greatly troubled. They shall turn back and be put to shame in a moment. Yeah. Boom. Love it. There's one psalm, I think it's Psalm 88, I think. Doesn't resolve happily. There isn't a happily ever after. He's like, darkness has surrounded me. Okay, next psalm. Like, wait, what? Wait, what? There's one psalm. Every once in a while that happens. Probably happens more than once. Okay, there's 150 psalms. One of them ends sadly. You probably end sad more than once in 150 times. Say 150 days, you want to end happy? You want to end with everything resolved with being like, God, you're good, Probably will happen more than once in 150 days. So what is the Psalms trying to teach us? I assume it's teaching us that even if we are sad, we should say, they shall turn back and be put to shame in a moment. The Lord accepts my prayer. Okay. we should end on the happy note. But is it bad that we end on the bad note? No, because one of the Psalms does, right? Like Job was like, he's questioning God. He's like, God, why are you doing this to me? For like 30 something chapters, 35, 36, 30, something like that. Then, and he's arguing with his friends, I haven't done anything wrong. I haven't done anything wrong. Then God comes. And Job was like, I'm sorry, God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Then God's like, I'm not finished. And then God's like, I'm really, and then Job is like, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. God said Job did nothing wrong. But how did God want it to end? Job didn't have the answers. He was just supposed to say, hey, you're God and I trust you. That's ultimately all we have to rest on. You know, a lot things will end badly, and God doesn't mind that happening. But the general admonition is trust in Him. Trust in Him. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. You go to sleep at night, you're angry, get it resolved. Pray to God, Lord, steadfast love, thank you. All right. But again, it will happen sometimes, and God still loves us. So, all right. Now let's see how that has to do with John 1:17, 1 through 17. I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna try and go from memory, from the Psalm 5 and 6. Okay. In the beginning was a word. The word was with God. The word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, the word. And without him, the word was not anything that was made. That was made. Nothing was made that was made without the word. And the word was life, and the life was the light of men. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. So this God who's gonna destroy our enemies and gonna have steadfast love, and he hates evildoers and he loves those who are righteous, but he's just abounding in love and he's gonna protect us. This God has a word, or the word is a word. This God and this word from the beginning. All things are made through this God. The darkness doesn't overcome him. He's got a light, the light of men. The life was in him was life, and the life was the light of men. That's good. That our light is him. Yes. The light we have that we were told about, lead me through dark paths because of my enemies. It's his life. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. Is that the word? He came as a witness to bear witness about the light, that they might believe through him. He was not the light, but came to bear witness about the light. Okay, here we go. The true light, which gives light to everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world was made through him. Remember, everything was made through him. All things made through. Yet the world did not know him. World full of evildoers, wicked people, we're told. Right? He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive, I'm assuming the Jewish people. Okay, you'll see why in a minute. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, who are born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. We're born of God. We're not born of other stuff, right? Because of his steadfast love. It's not because who my dad is or because I really try. I'm the will of the flesh. God. God. And the word became flesh and dwelt among us. This is Jesus. This word that was with God and was God and became flesh. Got to be Jesus. John was a witness to Jesus. And we have seen his glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. John bore witness about him and cried out, this was he of whom I said, He who comes after me ranks before me because he was before me. Okay. 4, from the word's fullness, from Jesus' fullness, we have all received grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. Now this one, remember, it only goes through verse 17. Okay. Verse 17. I think they're connecting these. I could be wrong, but I think they're connecting these as God hates the bad people, loves the good people. But ultimately, it's all because of God's steadfast love, if anybody's loved. Why is a good person loved? His steadfast love. The life was the light of men. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. The law came through Moses. You break the law, you're a bad person, right? You're one of those people that God hates, supposedly, right? You're a liar, evildoer, deceitful man. Grace and truth, God's abounding, steadfast love came through Jesus Christ. How does God answer the psalm? How does he answer that quandary? Because David did some pretty nasty things during his life. He wasn't always righteous, but he sings and says, God, I am, and you love me because your steadfast love. Right? And Romans, Paul is quoting stuff from Abraham. Abraham did this because of faith. Abraham did that because of faith. Abraham had faith, and he was credited as righteous, credited as righteous through faith. And Abraham lived in that faith. And Abraham's faith got stronger, and faith is that's Abraham. In the middle of all that, Paul says, he quotes a psalm of David saying, how blessed is the man whose sins are forgiven, whose iniquities are not counted to him. So Paul is trying to say, it's not because of good deeds, but because of faith. It's not because of good deeds, but because of faith. Then he quotes David, blessed is a man whose bad deeds are not counted against him. How can you say all this? Because God gave a sacrifice himself. Jesus came down, sacrificed himself, right? Yeah. Passed over the sins previously committed. The book of Hebrews, his blood, he applies it to everything. We weren't saved by the blood of bulls and goats, the book of Hebrews says. It says we were saved by his blood, his one offering forever. Yet Jesus comes down, gives his life as an offering, dies and rises. We are saved. He was raised for our justification. It says at the end of all the chapters in Romans on faith, the end of chapter 4, faith this, faith that. You're saved by your faith. Because Jesus died, you're saved. Jesus died, you have faith. And he was raised for justification. So it's his raising. So again, it's all God. God, we didn't raise Jesus. He raised Jesus. Jesus raised himself. God the Father raised Jesus, the Holy Spirit. I mean, God. It's all God. This God. God is that man. This is awesome. Not of the will of flesh or the will of blood. I'm thinking the answer is God. It seems like we're all screwed in the Old Testament because we're all evildoers and wicked. But then you say, because your steadfast love. What's the answer? Jesus. Law came through Moses. Grace and truth through Jesus Christ. There we go. Now, I'm going to see what kind of light Acts has to shed on this. Acts 26:24 through 27:8. Acts 26, and it was 24. Okay, Paul's defense before Agrippa. Paul tells of his conversion. Okay, yeah. 26:24. Okay. And as he was saying these things in his defense, as Paul was saying these things in his defense, Paul's defense. So Agrippa said to Paul, you have permission to speak for yourself. Then Paul stretched out his hand and made his defense. Today, when you're in court, what happens? You have a lawyer do everything for you. Back then, you defend yourself. I think you can defend yourself nowadays. Turn that a little bit. I think you can. I think you can defend your, but back then he's defending himself. My manner of life from my youth, spent among the beginning of my own action, is known by all the Jews. Hey, they know. They've known for a long time. Look, I've lived as a Pharisee. They know this. I was convinced. Look, I was against Jesus. Then I am Jesus whom you are persecuting, but rise and stand upon your feet, for I have appeared to you for this. So Paul gets an appearance from Jesus, right? Like at midday, O king, he's talking to Agrippa. Paul says, O king, I saw on the way a light from heaven. I mean, he's talking about his conversion, you know. Therefore, King Agrippa, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision. So he's trying to defend what I mean, he's saying, hey, I did this, now I'm this way. I was a Jew, I promised, but I saw this great vision. That's what changed me. I'm not doing anything wrong. All right. What does Agrippa have to say about all this? Oh, Festus. Festus, I believe, is Roman. Here we go. And as Paul was saying these things in his defense, because the Jews were talking about how Paul was a blasphemer, Paul's like, hey, I was a good Jew. Then I had this crazy vision. So I'm just continuing to be a good Jew. I mean, I had a vision. God told me what to do. I'm just doing that. I'm just being a good Jew. Okay. As he was saying these things in his defense, Festus with a loud voice, Paul, you are out of your mind. Your great learning is driving you out of your mind. But Paul said, I am not out of my mind, most excellent Festus, but I am speaking true and rational words. For the king knows about these things, and to him I speak boldly. For I am persuaded that none of these things had escaped his notice. For this has not been done in a corner. King Agrippa, do you believe the prophets? I know that you believe. And Agrippa said to Paul, in a short time, would you persuade me to be a Christian? And Paul said, whether short or long, I would to God that you not only you, but also all who hear me this day might become such as I am, except for these chains, might become a Christian, but not persecuted. Then the king rose, and the governor, Festus, and Bernice, somebody's wife maybe, and those who were sitting with them. And when they had withdrawn, they said to us, so they go in a back room, let's deliberate. They said to one another, this man is doing nothing that deserves death or imprisonment. And Agrippa said to Festus, this man could have been set free if he had not appealed to Caesar. Paul's like, I appeal to Caesar. And they're like, okay, let's bring him to Caesar. But first he goes to Festus and Agrippa. If he hadn't appealed to Caesar, they could let him go. Easy peasy. Through 27:8. Okay, let's see. Paul sails for Rome. And it was decided, and when it was decided that we should sail for Italy, Rome is in Italy, Paul sailed for they delivered Paul and some other prisoners to a centurion of the Augustan cohort named Julius. And embarking in a ship of Adramyttium, which was about to sail to the ports along the coast of Asia, we put to sea, accompanied by Aristarchus, a Macedonian from Thessalonica. The next day we docked. We put the boat in at Sidon. Because remember, right here, embarking in a ship of Adramyttium, which was about to sail to the ports along the coast. Okay, so they put out to sea. The next day, they put in at Sidon. That's one of the okay. Julius treated Paul. Julius. Okay, up here. Paul was delivered to a centurion named Julius. Julius treated Paul kindly and gave him leave to go to his friends and be cared for. Sweet. Do trust Paul. And putting out to sea from there, we sailed. That means Luke is involved. If Luke wrote the book of Acts, Luke is there. We sailed under the lee of Cyprus because the winds were against us. I think the lee is like there's a certain side you can, you can sail on one side or the other side. And they were trying to sail on the side that there's wind coming. They're trying to get out of the wind geographically. So yesterday we were kind of on a hill having a picnic, and the wind just kept blowing on the one side of the pavilion because it was up the hill. The other side that was flat, no wind. Why? Just geography. Okay, so they're trying to sail where there's no wind because the winds were against them. And when we had sailed across the open sea along the coast of Sicilia and Pamphylia, we came to Myra and Lycia. There, the centurion found a ship of Alexandria sailing for Italy and put us on board. Okay, so now they're going to another ship. We sailed slowly for a number of days and arrived with difficulty off Cnidus. Snidus. And the wind did not allow us to go further. And as the wind did not allow us to go further, we sailed under the lee of Crete off Salmonate. Man, they're trying. They're like, no, we're going. He's like, the wind didn't allow us to go further. So we just sailed like what? Like, since it's impossible to get across, then go this way because it's the easiest way. What? Coasting along with difficulty, the coasting along the seashore, coasting along the coast. We came to a place called Fair Havens, near which was the city of Lasea. 1 second, guys. I got to pause because my cats are fixing to fight, I think. Whoa, that is my cat. He went upstairs. I was looking because the other cat is making funny noises. I was like, uh-oh, they are going to fight. Okay, bye-bye, little guy. Yeah, just stay there in the chair. Okay, here we go. Well, I guess that's it. Why is that? I mean, why is it there? I bet if we went to, now remember, we're not trying to figure out what is the liturgy for. Why do they do it? What's this? What's that? We know that they do put them together in some kind of order, that the verses should relate to each other. Remember, we are just using the liturgy as a tool. We're not using it to like do the liturgy, to figure out the liturgy. No, we're just using it as a tool. So why do they have Acts 26 here along with these other verses? I'm going to go show new date 10. I'm going to go to 9. No, wait. Tuesday, October 11th. Tuesday, October 11th. Okay, I'm going to do Tuesday, October 10th. Show new date. So Acts 26. Okay. Acts 26, 1 through 23. Oh, look at that. Psalms 1, 2, and 3. And we just read 5 and 6. So if we go to 12, I bet it will be Acts 27. Yep. Acts 27. Oh, look at this. John 1, 17 through 2:10. So they're just reading straight through the Gospel of John. They're just reading straight through Acts, it seems. So really, it's not that they're trying to make all these verses related. They're trying to tell us a story, right? Yeah. But if we were to relate, since the Bible relates to each other, all this, right, shows us one way of God's steadfast love, right? Yeah. Paul is a good person saved by grace. How is Paul being shown God's steadfast love? Uh, he was given a wonderful vision by God. He got a defense. Okay, God must have orchestrated that. Festus is like, this great love has driven you mad, but Festus did say, therefore, off with your head. Paul got a chance to preach the gospel. Paul was given in care to a wonderful guy here named Julius. I mean, God's steadfast. God's helping him. Paul wants to go to Rome. Paul seems like he's getting to Rome, even though there's bad wind. They keep sailing, right? You know, God is with us in mundane times, like sailing, and in trouble times, like sailing because he'd been arrested, with super high winds blowing the boat everywhere, right? I mean, God's with us either way. Pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, you can relate it all. It's kind of neat, I guess. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and stop here. Stop share. I know, yeah, we didn't get much resolved. I agree. Look at how pixelated my shirt is. People are like, ooh, that's gross. Hey, the Bible. Forget about me. Think about the Bible. All right, guys. We'll see y'all on the next very basic Bible. Lord, thank you for being good to us, for being kind to us. Help us to be the good people that you love, not the evil people that you hate. And since we all do evil, thank you for your abounding, steadfast, wonderful love for coming to this world for us. Grace and truth came through you, Lord. Amen. See y'all in the next Bible.